A former Emmerdale favourite has spoken openly about the possibility of returning to the ITV soap, revealing why Debbie Dingle has not reappeared during the show's dramatic baby storyline. The ongoing plot has seen Charity agree to carry a child for her granddaughter Sarah Sugden and her husband Jacob. However, neither Sarah nor Jacob are aware that baby Leyla is actually Charity's biological daughter with Ross Barton, following a brief fling between the pair. Despite the huge implications of the storyline for Sarah's family, viewers shouldn't expect Debbie to make a surprise comeback anytime soon. Speaking on the Live Laugh Luke podcast, Charley Webb addressed speculation about returning to the village and made it clear that there are currently no plans for Debbie to re-enter the story. Asked whether she would reprise the role, she replied, "Not right now. There are no plans for me to return, because I don't think this would be the right time." She went on to explain that family life is her main priority, saying that raising 3 children is demanding enough on its own, while working on a soap also requires a major commitment. "At the moment, it's not something I'm looking at, but I wouldn't completely rule it out in the future," she added. The actress also disclosed that producers have approached her about a return on several occasions. "I've been asked a few times, but it never felt like the right moment," she explained. Referring to the current baby storyline, she acknowledged that many fans believe Debbie should be involved because of her close family connection to the events unfolding on screen. She said people often tell her that Debbie would surely be in the village during such a major family crisis, but for now, the character remains absent. Elsewhere in the drama, Charity has been facing a terrifying situation involving the manipulative Dr. Todd. After discovering the truth about Leyla's parentage, Todd began blackmailing Charity in an attempt to keep the secret hidden. The doctor's campaign against the Woolpack landlady later took a disturbing turn when Charity became the victim of a shocking assault. Emmerdale's Ross loses control as he confronts 2 dangerous enemies. Fans are thrilled to see Kev Townsend back in Emmerdale, but Ross Barton has quietly emerged as one of the show's most unexpected heroes. Over recent months, Ross has repeatedly stepped up when those around him have needed help. He offered Sam valuable advice that helped repair his relationship with Lydia, supported Laurel as she struggled to move on after learning the truth about Ray, and now he's putting everything on the line to rescue his brother, Lewis. Lewis was on his way to the airport to join Vinny for a holiday when he was suddenly abducted. The situation quickly becomes more alarming when Ross receives a threatening message demanding that he hand over someone called Penny if he ever wants to see Lewis again. Completely confused by the demand, Ross has no idea who Penny is. Liam is eager to involve the police, but Ross argues that they should first speak to Lewis's adoptive father, Jeffrey, in case he can provide any answers. Unfortunately, Jeffrey is unable to shed any light on the mystery. Instead, Liam is forced to reveal a major secret. Kev is actually Lewis's biological father. Although stunned by the revelation, Ross remains determined to save his brother. However, the kidnapper soon makes contact again. Kylie, the woman holding Lewis captive, approaches Ross and finally explains the situation. She tells him that Lewis will only be freed if Kev returns Penny, describing it as the most valuable thing in the world to her. Desperate to find Kev, Liam pressures Claudette into revealing his whereabouts, warning that a life could be at stake. She eventually helps, allowing Liam to track Kev down as he goes about his business selling cakes from a van. Kev appears remarkably unconcerned about his son's fate, and his dismissive attitude pushes Ross to breaking point. In a burst of anger, Ross turns violent in an attempt to force some answers out of him. Kev then admits that Penny is actually a diamond he once pawned. He insists that the jewel is long gone, but it later becomes clear that he has been hiding it around his neck the entire time. The diamond clearly means more to Kev than his own son's safety. Matters worsen when Ross receives another chilling message from Kylie, showing surgical scalpels and hinting at what could happen to Lewis if the gem isn't returned. Kylie orders Kev to hand over the diamond before the day is over, and reminds him of the years she spent in prison. The threat finally rattles him into action, and he claims to have tracked down the jewel and bought it back. Ross, however, isn't convinced. Suspecting Kev is lying once again, he lashes out and knocks him to the ground. With Kev unconscious, Ross tells Liam that he intends to use him as leverage in order to secure Lewis's release. The question now is whether Ross can bring his brother home safely before it's too late. Emmerdale actress gives fresh update on Victoria Sugden comeback. Emmerdale favourite Isabel Hodgins has spoken about becoming a first-time mum and has also shared the latest news regarding her return to the ITV soap. The actress has portrayed Victoria Sugden for more than 20 years and temporarily stepped away from the village earlier this year while preparing to welcome her baby. Speaking on the parenting podcast You Don't Know You're Born, with co-star Danny Miller and presenter Nigel Clucas, Hodgins reflected on the moment she informed Emmerdale bosses about her pregnancy. She explained that one of her biggest concerns was ensuring her news didn't disrupt any major storylines already planned for the show. According to Hodgins, producers were very flexible and allowed her to decide how much time away from work she wanted following the birth. Recalling the timeline, she revealed that she discovered she was pregnant around the middle of December and initially expected to continue filming into the new year. However, producers decided to wrap up her scenes before Christmas instead. Looking back, she admitted that the decision worked in her favour, particularly because the regular commute between Manchester and Leeds had become increasingly exhausting. When asked how she and her husband, Adam Whitehead, would balance childcare responsibilities once both returned to work later this year, Hodgins admitted that it will require careful planning. She acknowledged that for the past 2 decades her career had always come first, but becoming a parent has completely changed her outlook and priorities. Discussing her future on Emmerdale, Hodgins confessed that she has not yet settled on a definite return date. She said that, ideally, she would like to resume filming in September, although nothing has been officially confirmed. The actress noted that returning to work will mark the beginning of a new challenge as she navigates parenting, career commitments, and the possibility of experiencing the guilt many working mothers face. Victoria's most recent storyline saw her leave the village after killing John Sugden in self-defense. Following the incident, Joe Tate blackmailed her, prompting Victoria and Henry to leave for Portugal in search of a fresh start. Before departing, however, she reassured her brother Robert that she would eventually make her way back home. Emmerdale star Danny Miller has revealed how one of his fellow cast members played a significant role in helping him give up alcohol. Last month, the actor proudly announced on Instagram that he had reached 1 year without drinking, celebrating the important personal achievement with his followers. During a recent episode of the You Don't Know You're Born podcast, Miller explained that co-star Isabel Hodgins had been one of the key influences behind his decision to embrace a sober lifestyle. The conversation began with a discussion about mental well-being, with both actors reflecting on the challenges of parenting and the importance of looking after their mental health. Hodgins spoke about how difficult it can be to find time for exercise while caring for a newborn baby. In response, Miller explained that maintaining his well-being allows him to be a better parent and partner. He shared that he and his wife, Steph Jones, have become skilled at recognizing when the other person needs support or encouragement. Emmerdale continues to air on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.